That's a really good question. Mark 7:18 through 19 does seem to indicate that a person can eat anything they want. I've heard many say, well, that's in the Old Testament. This is now the New Testament. This is the new way. We can eat whatever we like. There is no more law. There is no more dietary code. And that's quite unfortunate because Yeshua was a practitioner of the commandments, of the laws, the statutes. But before I give you my answer on this, let me just say this. As a practitioner of the Bible, I try to approach the text in a very meticulous manner, as there are many translation mistakes and errors, and even some insertions. Okay? Either was done maliciously or by accident. I'll let you decide. But I'm going to prove to you today that this text was inserted. This isn't to say that we shouldn't follow the text or the Bible itself, but I am saying that we are human beings, okay? We have certain biases. We do have agendas that we want to go ahead and push. And we also have, a fallibility about us, okay? We make mistakes a lot. But that is not to say that we should disregard the Bible because a few translators got it wrong. No, as Bible students, we should strive to ascertain the original intended message. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and look at Mark 7:18 through 19. Let's go to it. Are you so dull? He asked. Don't you see that nothing that enters a person from the outside can defile them? For it doesn't go into their heart, but into their stomach, and then out the body. End quote. Now in parentheses it says, in saying this, Yeshua declared all foods clean. Now that's interesting, right? Where did that come from? That ain't what Yeshua said. But we're going to go ahead and see where it came from. We're going to see if it is valid. Doesn't make any sense because there's an obvious contradiction. Well, this means that we see that this is clearly an insertion. That's what it means. What can we do about it? Well, we can possibly ascertain the originally intended message by going to the original Greek text. And there you will see that you won't see, thus Yeshua declared all meats clean. You won't see what the NIV says, saying this, Yeshua declared all foods or meats clean. This, in fact, within the context, this is not what even Yeshua was even talking about. But we're going to see this later on. But my point is that this was definitely inserted. And I'm not the only one with this opinion. There are a multitude of biblical scholars that are out there that suggest the same thing. One of those biblical scholars named J.K. McKee, and he points out in his own commentary the following about this verse. He said this verse, in that parentheses, thus he declared, or is saying Yeshua declared all foods clean. That was an addition by the Bible translators. That is not in the Greek text. On the contrary, the text speaks of a person's bodily elimination of food by excretion. This is confirmed by the parallel passage in Matthew 15:17. And it states the following: do you not understand that everything that goes into the mouth passes into the stomach and is eliminated? A literal word-for-word breakdown of the Greek text with no words omitted shows that the phrase, thus he declared, or in saying this, Yeshua declared all foods clean, In fact, it's absent from verse 19. You won't see it in the original Greek text. And let's look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Translating from the Greek text into English, it says, because not enter him into the heart, but into the belly and into the latrine, that's the toilet, goes out purging all the food. That is a literal translation from the Greek to the English. To the English. So as you will soon find out when researching yourself, you'll see what was said earlier. In saying this, Yeshua declared all foods clean, doesn't even exist. It doesn't exist in the original Greek text. So why would someone do this? I would say that they were doing this in order to propagate their own agenda. They're trying to get away from the Hebraic teachings. They didn't want to Judaize. Okay, they wanted to indulge in those other foods. But why does a translator feel the need to insert an interpretation where there is no need? Yeshua actually interprets what he says. As a matter of fact, in Matthew 15, starting at verse 11, we'll read the whole thing, and you'll see that one of the apostles, they come to him asking him, hey, what did you mean by that? So there was no need for any Bible translator to come in and try to make this out to be something it wasn't. That is, eating any food that you like. So let's look at it. Let's look at it. Matthew 15, starting at verse 11, and it states, now that not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. Then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be rooted up. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Verse 15. Then answered Peter and said unto him, declare unto us this parable. And Yeshua said, are ye also yet without understanding? Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth into the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the drop? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile a man. Verse 19. For out of the heart proceeds evil thoughts, murders, adultery, fornication, theft, false witnesses, and blasphemy. This is him interpreting to the disciples who asked him a question, what did you mean? It's not what the translators were saying. The translators that came in talking about some, Yeshua said all meats were clean now, therefore we can eat anything we want. That's not right. That's not right. Not according to this text. I'm reading the text right here, and it's stating what Yeshua meant. And here's the beautiful part. It's going to close out real nice for you. Verse 20 says the following. These are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. There was not even a discussion about what foods you can and cannot eat in this whole entire text. And sorry for raising my voice and being a little bit passionate here, because it really bothers me that a translator would go in and insert something that is adversarial to the laws, commandments, and statutes of the Most High God. It's a really egregious act. And this one single solitary verse, this snippet of a verse, has fooled Christendom. It has fooled a lot of people. And it's just very sad. And it goes back to what was said in 1 Timothy 4 and 5. You know, at 1 Timothy 4:1, Paul indicates that, you know, people are going to fall away from the truth. What is truth? You know, what is truth? According to Psalms 119, 142, and 151, it's the law, statutes, and commandments. Can't get away from it, no matter how much you try.